Well, the Prime Minister has faced a significant cabinet revolt against plans to crack down on the number of people arriving in Britain on graduate visas, widely regarded, by the way, as a backdoor into Britain. The Chancellor, the Home Secretary, the Education Secretary and the Foreign Secretary all urged Rishi Sunak not to tighten existing restrictions on graduate immigration. A government source warned The Times, this is the difference between growth and recession. I mean, come on. All this despite net migration in Britain hitting a record high of nearly 750,000 in the latest available figures. Well, earlier on, I spoke to former Immigration Minister Robert Jenrick, who said that the Prime Minister must stand firm against this ridiculous onslaught from people, believe it or not, including the current Home Secretary, and actually crack on and reduce immigration. Extraordinary scenes today, Mr Jenrick, with the Foreign Secretary, the Education Secretary, the Chancellor and the Home Secretary appearing to lobby against scrapping the graduate visa scheme. I mean, dealing with Lord Cameron first, he's not elected, he's beyond his brief. Is he overreaching here?
Well, look, I preferred the former version of David Cameron when he was Prime Minister, and he set our manifesto at reducing legal migration to the tens of thousands, and along with Nick Clegg, he scrapped the graduate route. So I'm disappointed if he's now campaigning to stop us from controlling migration and reducing the number of students coming into the country in this way. I've been campaigning both within government and now, since resigning from the cabinet, to control our borders, to ensure that we reduce the number of people coming into the country legally. And one of the ways we can do that is by scrapping the graduate route.
A lot of people scratching their heads today about the Home Secretary's role in all of this. He's privately been accused of rubbishing the Rwanda plan, now appears not to want to bring down graduate visas either. What is the point of him?
Well, look, I think it's incredibly important, as I've said time and again, both in government and after I resigned, that we as politicians meet our promises. We made a very clear pledge at the general election in 2019 to bring down the level of net migration, and that was just one of many manifestos throughout my entire adult lifetime where we have said we're going to control and reduce migration. I think it is immensely corrosive to trust in politics and democracy if we keep on breaking these pledges. And I, for one, am not willing to be just another politician who makes promises on migration and doesn't meet them.
Could you just explain to our viewers and our listeners why, in your view, it is so important to scrap this graduate visa scheme? Some people say it's a backdoor into Britain. Other people say, look, universities need this to exist.
Well, back in the coalition government, we made a decision to scrap the predecessor to the graduate route, and then 2 years ago, we changed tack, or the ministers at the time did, and brought this back. It's not worked as they envisaged. It's led to a very large increase in the number of students coming into the country from overseas. And some of the universities that have taken advantage of it are essentially selling immigration rather than education. Only a quarter of those students who've come in are from the Russell Group universities, so most are coming to the UK to do short courses at lower tier universities, and that is putting further pressure on housing, on infrastructure, on our country for little benefit. What we want to see, Neil O'Brien and I, who wrote a report recently on this issue, is that those students who come here and then wish to remain in the UK at the end of their studies have to quickly get a graduate level job, just like anyone else who's looking to come into the country from overseas. We don't think that's too much to ask. That's what we mean when we say that we want the best and the brightest to come to this country. We don't want people to be studying here and then going to work as Deliveroo drivers. We want them to be doing things that make a real contribution to the UK. And the most recent stats that we have available show that 40% of those coming to the UK as international students and then staying on under the graduate route are earning as little as £15,000 a year in their first year after completing their studies. And I think to most reasonable people, that's not sensible. That is not the best and the brightest going on to do graduate level jobs.
So I suppose your message to Rishi Sunak on this will be to stand firm and not necessarily listen to the Foreign Secretary, the Education Secretary, the Chancellor or the Home Secretary on this. And also, I believe that visa figures are out either tomorrow or the day after. What are you expecting from that?
Well, I don't know is the honest answer, and so we'll have to wait and see. But whatever the outcome is, they're going to be very high. They're going to be far in excess of our manifesto commitment and what I want to see, which is that we bring down the numbers to at least the tens of thousands. And I've proposed that we meet that commitment, not with further fine words, but with a legally binding cap set by Parliament, so that the public can finally have confidence that we're going to get a grip on this issue. And taking action on the graduate route is just one of a number of things that we need to do, but which we could do immediately to make this issue finally under control. And so I would just urge the Prime Minister to act and to begin to rebuild some of the lost trust and confidence of the public with our party on this issue. As I say, I was not prepared to just be a bystander. I was not prepared to allow this to go unchecked when I was minister. That's why I resigned from the cabinet.
Well, you mentioned there about illegal immigration. Other countries, that's the news today anyway, other countries are now looking at copying our Rwanda plan. I think Austria seem very keen on it. They've gone over the top and said this is a good thing. Rishi Sunak's also banging the drum. He told GB News exclusively earlier today that he's managed to deport 10,000 people, or return 10,000 people, I should say, back to their home country. That's 2,000 up, I believe, on this time last year, so he says. What's your view on other countries coming round to the idea of a Rwanda plan and those returns?
Well, I think the Rwanda plan is incredibly important, and I've been one of its greatest proponents. If we can make it work and ensure that it is a genuine deterrent, then I am confident that other countries will copy it. Unfortunately, the Prime Minister has chosen to pursue the Rwanda policy in a half-hearted manner. I don't believe that the symbolic flights that he's proposing will be a deterrent, and I would be very worried that as a result of that it will fail and will be scrapped by a Labour government. That's why it is so critical that he pursues a much more robust version of this policy, like the one that I proposed, which would scrap Tony Blair's Human Rights Act, would ensure that there are not a myriad of legal challenges from individuals making claims, and protect us from the activist judges in Strasbourg. The Prime Minister has not chosen to do any of those things so far. I think that's a serious mistake. But of course, I always hope that he changes tack and pursues Rwanda in a robust manner.
Well, since speaking to Mr Jenrick, it has been revealed that tomorrow Rishi Sunak is going to announce a heavily weakened crackdown on the graduate visa route. So, yeah, that's been called a migration spin fest. The government is expected to put figures out that show that visa applications have gone down, good, but simultaneously announce a massive watering down of the previously promised reforms of the graduate visa route. So, just to emphasise, Cameron, the Education Secretary, the Chancellor and the Home Secretary, that is the most bonkers one of all of this. The Home Secretary have said, please don't do this. And he's caved in. After successful lobbying by all of those people, this package apparently he's going to put forward will fall short of the tougher restrictions that Tory MPs like Robert Jenrick demanded, like drastically reducing the 2-year working window post-graduation and restricting the scheme to top Russell Group institutions. So essentially, that back door into Britain appears like it's going to be left wide open. Seriously. And can I just say, look, what is the point of a Home Secretary that thinks privately, apparently, that the Rwanda scheme is bonkers, and also, as well, does not appear particularly interested in actually reducing a migration loophole? No doubt James Cleverly would deny that, but actions do speak louder than words.